4 ways to build and maintain a strong professional network. There are multiple things you can do to advance your career, from polishing your technical and soft skills to networking to pursuing professional licensing. Speaking of networking, the practice is not as complicated as it might sound. From online referrals to workplace introductions, there is a lot you can do to broaden your Rolodex of professional connections. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. I'm very happy to have you around today. I hope you are doing fantastic. And if you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea. Today I want to talk to you about 4 simple ways to build and maintain a strong professional network. Number 1, you first want to understand what the term professional network means. Now, a professional network is a group of people who are connected or have connected with one another for career reasons or business-related aspirations. So this is very strictly defined, right? So when you talk about your network, you are either trying to advance your career or you're trying to push your business forward, right? Now, in a professional network, whether it is on LinkedIn, online, or in real life, members are usually called connections. This is why on LinkedIn you have connections. People want to connect with you. Even on social media, people want to connect, right? So members can either be they can be called connections or contacts. All right. Now the thing here is that because it is a network, and the very definition of network means that all the members sort of interrelate with each other. Those members are sharing information. They share information about the economic trends, sector trends, job leads, and other stuff, right? Members are free to share whatever information they feel like sharing. Now, some professional networks also allow members to help each other when it comes to solving work-related problems, right? For instance, let's say, there is some kind of integration, some ERP integration happening, and you have an IT professional network, and people, there's one or two professionals who can't find the problem. They can submit the problem to their network or to a forum, and they can, members can pitch in their solutions. Network members can also recommend vendors and suppliers, right? In other words, we live in a world that's very connected, and people want to do business with people they know who know someone who know each other, right? It's all about, I want to deal with somebody that was referred to me. And network members do that very well. Your contacts, your connections do that very well. If you own a business and your connections, one of your connections recommends vendors or suppliers to you, chances are you're going to take that supplier. You're going to do business with that supplier because you trust the primary connection. Another use of professional networking is that you can go through members to get information about prospective employers, prospective employees, and clients, right? So let's say you own a business in auto manufacturing. You sell tires, right? And you are able to network with other players in the industry. You guys can share clients, of course, within the limits of competition here, but you can share clients, you can share employers, you can share employees. Right, so this is very important. Now, one thing that's very important here is you don't have to go to a physical place. You don't have to attend a professional networking event to connect. In other words, if you're shy or if you're introvert, if you're socially anxious, you don't have to go to an event. There are a lot of ways you can actually connect without appearing physically. So you have LinkedIn and Facebook, the giant social media. You can even network with folks on YouTube if you are in a niche that requires video production, right? You can also connect through volunteering. And one thing that's very important also is that you can even connect inside the company you're currently working at. Because a lot of folks think that networking means you have to go out. No. The people inside your company are also humans. They are also professionals, and they are also trying to advance their own careers. So they are always open to networking too. You can also network by mentoring and coaching other people, right? So, we live in a world of give and take where karma plays a big role, either in the economy, in the professional world, or in just the private world. Karma is important. So if you want to receive, it's important that you also give. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. I hope you are doing fantastic today. I'm still having a conversation here about the 4 ways to build and maintain a strong professional network. Now, so the first way to build that is to really understand the nitty-gritty of a professional network. The second way is you need to understand the connection between networking and career advancement. There is a huge connection. Now, the old saying about it's not what you know, it's who you know. This is as true today as it was 20, 30, 40, or 100 years ago, or even 1 millennium ago. You gotta have the degree your college degree allows you to get a foot in the door. But once you are in the room, to move in the room, you got to know people, right? Think about your degree, your college degree, and your skill set as the ticket to the concert, right? Now, once you're in the concert, whether or not you are in the VIP section or you're able to be closer to the artist, depends on who you know, right? It's the same thing here. You can use networking to learn about a career. Let's say, for instance, you want to switch jobs. You're not comfortable in your current position. You're bored. You feel there is no chemistry between you and your boss, and you want to make a move, right? So it is important before making that move to collect as much info about the occupation you're considering, right? And you can do so by doing research online. You can reach out to people who are already in the industry, or you can tap into your network. Especially if you have a solid network that is alive, they can give you updated information about the industry and the job you're looking for. Now, you can also use professional networking to find prospective job candidates, right? Let's say, for instance, you're an HR manager, or you are an executive recruiter working at recruitment firms, right? And you have a position to fill. If you have a strong network, it's very easy to know who can be interested, who has a strong profile, and who can be a good candidate, right? The idea here is that networking is something that you prepare beforehand, and when push comes to shove, you use it. You can't just start using it like when the situation arises, unless you have prepared for it. You can't have the resource. You can't tap the resource. I'll speak about that later on. But right now, I'm just giving you the connection between networking and career advancement. So you can learn about a career. You can find prospective job candidates. You can also get advice about a project, right? Earlier, I spoke about, the fact that if you have an IT group and you're working on an ERP, enterprise resource planning software implementation, and it's a huge project, and you work in company A and you can't find resources. If you have a strong network, you can just tap into it and ask people if people at company B or company C or company D, what kind of info they have about this particular software implementation program, right? So it's a great tool to collect advice, information, tips about a project. You can also use networking to find info about a prospective employer. Imagine that you are currently working at company A and you just got a job offer at company B, but at company B you already have 3 or 4 members of your network working at that company. Or the same thing can be true before you even got the interview. Right, so basically, the recruiter called you or the HR manager called you, and you are able to talk to your connections before even going to the first interview. So it works both ways, either before you get the job offer or after you get the job offer. Either way, you're learning about a prospective employer. You're getting insider information that's priceless. I'm not talking about going on the internet and just delving into the company's annual report. No, I'm talking about getting primary data, first-hand data from someone who is currently working on the company. That's priceless, right? You can also use networking, professional networking to find new clients or prospects rather for your business. You can prepare to make pitches to those clients. You can use the network to also fund your own business. You can find angel investors, VC firm, venture capitalists, to sort of fund your business, or private equity firm. So it really depends on which stage you are in your business. But yeah, it's a great tool to. Professional networking is a great way to find people you wouldn't have been able to find on your own. All right, I'll be right back right after this. Do not go anywhere for number 3. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. And the third way to build and maintain a strong professional network is to be strategic about whom you include in your network. Now, it's very important to be strategic. Why? Because your network, again, as I said in the previous section, there is a connection, there is a strong correlation between the strength of your network and the possibilities you have when it comes to career advancements and business growth. So you want to be strategic, right? It's not about quantity here. The focus should be on quality. It's better to have 5 great connections than 20 or 30. They're just very lame connections, people you haven't spoken to in months, right? So you want to be very strategic about whom you include in your network. Now, there are various sources of network member. Potential network members could be your current and former coworkers, right? So if you have cultivated a great relationship with some of them and they've left the company, you still keep in contact. You can go to happy hour every now and then, or you can maybe your children are attending the same school, or they're having ballet after school. Whatever it is, you want to keep in contact with those coworkers, those former coworkers, or even the current ones, because the job market is something very dynamic. A person who is the manager today could be the managing director tomorrow, right? So it's all about keeping the right relationship and cultivating it. You can also find connections through fellow members of professional association, right? Let's say, for instance, you're an accountant, and in the United States, there is a great if you're a CPA, of course, a certified public accountant, there is a great organization called the AICPA, the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants. And if you're part of that institute and you pay your dues, they have a lot of events all year long that can allow you to meet other like-minded and very successful people. And this is how you are basically expanding your professional network. You can also tap into your entourage, your immediate entourage. I'm talking about your relatives, your family, or your friends, right? I mean, family is always great. If you have an uncle or an aunt who is working in the industry or working in a field you want to get into, it's a great opportunity. Why reinvent the wheel, right? Just go, at the next Thanksgiving dinner, just approach the aunt or the uncle and just start a conversation around what you really want, right? You can also find great connections and contact in your former professors and instructors, right? Especially in college or university, because a lot of university professors are well regarded in the industry. Some even have a private consulting gig, so they know a lot of people in the industry. So it's very, very crucial to keep contacts with those, right? I mean, especially the higher the professor, or the more recognized he or she is in the field, the better. I'm not saying you want to discriminate when it comes to networking with your professors, but let's be real here. You got to be strategic. So if you were to choose a quote unquote regular professor versus a professor who has written bestsellers, who has appeared on national TV, who has conducted interviews with the choice is very simple. You can choose the first one or the second one. It really depends on your goals. But if I were to choose, if you were to ask me, I'll go with the second one, right? It's all about being strategic. Another pool of potential networking candidates is your former classmates, right? So if you were in a fraternity or sorority, you can look there, or you can look for graduation classes, right? Each institution maintains a directory, an alumni directory, and all you got to do is just pick into it and see whom you can invite into your network. All right, I will be right back right after this. Do not go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. We are about to wrap up today's show. The number 4 way to build and maintain a strong professional network is to basically keep your network alive, right? Human relationships are dynamic. Human relationships should be cultivated regularly. You want to stay in contact with your network members, with your connections, because God forbid, if you're going to need them, if you haven't spoken to someone in 6 months or 1 year, think about the embarrassment if you have to call them just because you need them, right? So you want to maintain a relationship with those people. It's a win-win, right? So in other words, when you reach out to them, they reach out to you, and you meet every now and then, time permitting, right? But it's very important to find ways to hold the relationship alive. You can make plans to get together with any connections with whom you have, or had a personal relationship. As I said earlier, if you have coworkers and you happen to live in the same area, and after some of them left, you can basically have some happy hours on Thursday or Wednesday or Friday, right? The idea here is to talk to people. It's very important. We live in a world where the giants, the tech giants, such as Facebook and Google, nothing wrong with them, but they have invaded the private space, and people don't talk to each other anymore. People would rather send emails and text messages, and no, you want to talk to the people. You want to talk to your network members, right? There is a reason why you chose them in the first place. If you remember, my first advice to you was to be strategic with people you're including in your network. So you have to be happy talking to them. You shouldn't be avoiding them, right? So contact them, trying to organize a little event every now and then, and keep the network alive. All right, thanks for listening, and I really appreciate it. Just to kind of recap today's show, the 4 ways to build and maintain a strong professional network include: understand what a professional network really is. Understand the connection between networking and career advancement. Be strategic about whom you include in your network, and maintain your network alive. Thanks for listening. I will see you next time. And until then, remember, stay marvelous.